Centaur, your kind of company.
Tonight on Ctv3 News, fatal collision between a taxi and ambulance reported near Ranchita village. A string of robberies in Orange Walk over the long holiday weekend. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams says raid at Caribbean Brewery Company Limited was carried out without malice. Control the price of LPG down by $3. And we'll take you to San Jose Nuevo Palmar for La Fiesta del Pueblo. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Tuesday, October 12th, 2022.
Ever since I was a kid, I've dreamt of going to Mars. You can keep my dream alive.
Come with me. You cannot, under any circumstances, leave my room, okay? Only for 35 days.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with Centaur, your kind of company.
I met Alex on the plane. When I woke up in the morning, he was so alive.
You think they know you're lying?
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with Centaur, your kind of company.
Get her off that stage.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with Centaur, your kind of company.
Tonight we're really late.
I was so much fun since this pandemic forced us on lockdown and like my online classes have been so stressful.
Oh my gosh.
And I bet you're glad that you finally get out.
Yes, that's true. And that girl, you will let loose. I never did expect that from you. Oh, Melanie.
Well defended again by Beverly.
Everyone, this is a nice one.
George to drive and the finish. Posting up Marcus Morris.
My gosh. Look like Kobe hit on real hard. My gosh, Melanie. Now you the top.
4 minutes has 7 of their 9 points.
You see why me? The married life. She can even enjoy her friends like in a peace.
Mind your business. Someday you might find a great guy too.
Exactly. Well, I still kind of have a crush for he cousin. Oh, no, remember the one where I danced with at the wedding?
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, well, I would have gone lockdown with he any day.
Anyways, when a gun cause enough trouble for one night, make her walk on her out.
Alright.
Now I believe I have to go to that place at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, morning. Morning. Your friend Melanie bring this for you on the way to work? Check it. Check it. You have to be more appreciative. You got some nice friend. And remember, nothing never happened last night, right? Right?
I love you, Jack. You have to do this for you. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. Your future self will thank you.
No. I need help.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, women and girls were at the highest risk of suffering domestic violence. Domestic violence involves violence between any member of the same household. It can happen to females or males, young or old. However, the evidence has shown that women and girls face the greatest risk. That risk has heightened due to the impacts of the pandemic, including job losses, mounting stress, and restrictions to movement and recreation. We can all help to combat violence against women and girls during the COVID-19 pandemic. Just like Melanie did, you can reach out to someone who is struggling and help them to find a way out. It is never easy, but together we can fight this. Belize will not be safe until its women are safe. Secure Belize.
Good evening with your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. We start off tonight's newscast with the report of a traffic accident that transpired today at around 4:30 p.m. in the village of Ranchito Corozal. Information to our newsroom suggests that at least one person was killed in the collision and two others were seriously injured. Unconfirmed reports indicate the incident involved a passenger minivan which was carrying several students from Escuela Secundaria Mexico and an ambulance belonging to the Ministry of Health. We understand the ambulance was heading out of Corozal, and as it tried to overtake another vehicle, it collided into the minivan. We will have more details of this story in tomorrow's newscast. A 2-day multi-agency operation at Caribbean International Brewery Company located in the village of Carmelita in Orange Walk led to the confiscation of $3.1 million in cash and the detention of 8 Chinese nationals on Friday. According to Commissioner of Police Chester Williams, the raid was carried out by the Labor Department, Immigration Department, Police, and the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Council after intelligence was received.
We had received some information in respect to activities that may be occurring at that particular beer factory. Based on that, we put together a multi-agency task force headed by police and comprised of immigration, labor, FIU, income tax, as well as personnel from the ATIPS unit. They went in on the strength of a search warrant to conduct searches, looking for anything that may indicate the presence of human trafficking or money laundering within the particular establishment. Searches were conducted, and the search led to the discovery of over $3.1 million Belize dollars that also comprised of U.S. currencies. Also found were a number of Asian nationals who had immigration violation in respect to their stay in Belize, and that includes the owner of the factory.
Those persons who were found to have violated immigration laws were charged on Friday for failure to comply with visitors' permit. They pled not guilty to the charge and were all remanded to prison until their next court date. As for the hefty sum of money found in the company's safe, it was handed over to the Financial Intelligence Unit.
I think sometime this week, they will apply to the court for permission to seize the money pending the outcome of money laundering investigation. Again, that's a process that will be required to go through the courts. And once the court give the go-ahead for the money to be seized while the investigation is ongoing, then they will look more in depth in terms of whether or not the company were in compliance with the financial laws, i.e. filing taxes and paying the fair share of tax as the case may be. Also important to note was that it was also learned that the employer may have been withholding the passports of at least 8 employees. And again, that is an element of human trafficking. But so far, we have been trying to get those employees to cooperate with investigators, and that effort has been futile so far.
But the company is claiming that authorities only had a warrant to search for illegal labor, and so the seizure of the $3.1 million is illegitimate. The company claims to have receipts showing how the money was obtained from sales of beer carried out in September. As for the men detained, the company says they all have a legal status. 4 of them were trapped here since COVID. They were brought to Belize to install an equipment for the company. After the job was done, they were unable to return to China due to COVID travel restrictions. The men, according to the company, had the flights booked to return to China via Mexico today, October 11th. As for the other 4 employees, we understand they had applied for Belizean residency in June and remain employed by the company with an extension work permit. But for Commissioner of Police Chester Williams, it's their word against that of the department.
You and I know that the COVID restrictions have been lifted since, I think, March this year. And since then, we have not had any strict COVID restrictions in terms of restricting the movements of people in and out of the country. So certainly, if it were that they...
I think you mean in China, though.
Well, I don't know. Then that's another issue with them and their country. But even if that were the case, the immigration department in Belize is open. And if they wanted to stay longer, due to unforeseen circumstances back in their country, then they could have visited the immigration department and asked for an extension. And I am sure that they would have received the extension. So that is no excuse. And in addressing the first issue, we don't live in the U.S. In the U.S., when the police have a warrant to go and search for, let's say, hypothetically, drugs, and if during the search they were to come across illegal firearms, their law requires that they must go and get a warrant to retrieve the illegal firearms because the warrant that they have would be for drugs. In Belize, in law we refer to it, the fruit of the poison tree is applicable in Belize. The fruit of the poison tree is not applicable in the U.S. And what that simply means is that if the police have a warrant to go and search for drugs, and the police were to come across illegal firearms, the law requires the police to confiscate the firearms and can still take action in respect thereof. We don't have to go and get a warrant for the firearms. On the strength of the same warrant that we have, we can confiscate the firearms. And so the fruit of the poison tree is admissible in our courts in Belize, and it is not admissible in the U.S. So if it were that they were to be living in the U.S., then they certainly would have a good case to argue. But we are living in Belize, so that argument is certainly dead on arrival at the courts. In respect to the money and them having receipts, it's an ongoing investigation. I'm sure that if it is that they can produce receipts indicating the collection of that sum and to show that they have paid their fair share of taxes, then the income tax and the FIU department are going to release the funds back to them. But they have an investigation to conduct to make sure that the collection of the money is, 1, legal, and 2, that taxes were paid.
As for the allegations that the operation was carried out maliciously, Williams had this to say.
Certainly, there is no monopoly where the sale of beer or any alcohol in the country is concerned. The fact that they came in and were issued a license to operate such business clearly shows that there were support from the government for them to do so. For them to make such an assertion without proof, I think they are being malicious, one, and two, they're trying to tarnish the good name of the police department, as you pointed out. If it were that there was nothing, then I could understand. But certainly, the information proved success because, one, there were immigration violations there, and two, a large sum of money was there, which they will now have to prove how it came into their custody and if they had paid taxes on it. So to say that it was malicious, I think that assertion is certainly far-fetched, and we completely deny that assertion.
Orange Walk played witness to several robberies over the long weekend. First, we start off with the robbery committed at San Jose Nuevo Palmar RC School. When Principal Ermita Osorio arrived at the institution this morning at around 7:30, she noticed that someone had broken into the school's main office. Evidence left behind shows that the door was forced open, and once inside, the thief or thieves ransacked the entire room, damaging even food supplies that had been collected to assist the victims of Hurricane Ian in Cuba.
When I came to school this morning, I saw the principal standing on the corner, and I came straight to the office because, we have to sign in. So when I came, she saw me and she looked devastated. I said, "What happened?" She said, "Miss, they broke into the office." I was, oh my goodness. And I took a look and we saw that it was burglarized this morning.
What went missing?
Well, so far they told us that a big Bluetooth speaker went missing. We have some money that went missing. That's about it.
What money?
Oh, well, the money was from the school, like the Rags Day money, tuition money, bathroom fees, different little fees that we have gathered.
And what did the police say? They were called in, right?
Yes, they called the police. The police came, I think. Crimes of Scene came as well to investigate what is happening.
The thieves got away with a bag containing an undisclosed amount of cash in various denominations and a 12,000 watts Bluetooth speaker.
Well, I will say the first thing you do, don't purchase it. And if you have any information of the stolen items, please report it to the principal or any of us teachers here or to the nearby police station.
It is believed that the robber or robbers are acquainted with the school's layout. If you have any information on the stolen items, you can reach the school at telephone number 664-9516. You can also contact the nearest police station at 911. And then there were the 3 robberies that were committed on Queen Victoria Avenue, just a stone throws away from the Orange Walk police station. The People's Clinical Laboratory, Better Life Pharmacy, and Farah Martians RF&G Insurance Agency were collectively broken into between 5 p.m. Friday last and Sunday morning around 7:30. Vidalchuk, owner of the laboratory and pharmacy, explains in detail how the crime might have unfolded.
El domingo en la mañana recibí una llamada de mis trabajadoras acá de la farmacia, ¿no? de ¿cómo se llama? Better Life Pharmacy, de que hicieron burglarize. Entonces, yo les dije que vean bien lo que pasó y todo, ¿no? Después ellos que chequearon que la puerta está quebrado todo, se dieron cuenta que de mi laboratorio también, ¿no? The People's Clinical Lab, le cortaron el burglar bar del baño, de la ventana del baño.
¿Entraron de atrás?
Sí, entraron para mi laboratorio, pero solo eso me reportaron ellos. Y después me dijeron que el otro también del MoneyGram, atrás, puerta de fierro, también estaba abierto, ¿no? Entonces adentro de la farmacia se dieron cuenta pues que se llevaron cash y se llevaron también medicamentos, ¿no?
¿Cuánto de dinero se llevaron?
Exactamente todavía lo vamos a centrarnos a verlo, ¿no? Para ver qué es lo que exactamente cantidad de cosas que se perdió, ¿no? No estoy todavía con una suma de todo, pero sí se llevaron medicinas y
Entonces,
más el cash que se maneja.
¿El domingo se dieron cuenta?
El domingo en la mañana, a las 8 que ellos vinieron, se dieron cuenta. Sí, porque normalmente trabajamos de lunes a sábado, ¿no? Pero ellos vinieron a Conrad a ver, siempre para ver que nada malo esté pasando, ¿no? Siempre así vienen ellos domingo, holidays, para chequear, ¿no?
Chuck says this is not the first time the building is targeted. 2 weeks ago, someone tried to gain access to the breaker box by breaking the locks.
El 22 a las 5 de la mañana yo llegué acá siempre que vengo para mi trabajo. Llegué a mi laboratorio, vi que no hay luz, no hay corriente, ¿no? Abrí la farmacia y veo que la farmacia tiene corriente. Digo, pues algo está pasando acá, algo malo corrió en mi mente, ¿no? Entonces me fui a donde están los controles, los breakers grandes, donde está el meter bank. Y cuando llego allá me doy cuenta que 4 candados están cortados. Y cuando lo abro veo que los breakers de 100 amperios están bajados, los 4. Y ahora mi mente corrió, digo, esta cosa es algo que querían asaltar el edificio acá de Gala Lounge, ¿no? Porque es una intención cortar candados, bajar breakers. ¿Qué significa? Para mí significa que la persona que está planeando esto, al cortar la corriente, entonces las cámaras, ¿de qué nos sirve? Podemos tener 2 cámaras, podemos tener 10 cámaras, podemos tener 1000 cámaras. Y ellos ya saben de que con corriente trabaja la cámara. Entonces las cámaras no van a grabar nada, ¿no? Y entonces yo pienso que desde esa noche ellos pensaban hacer alguna maldad, ¿no?
After targeting the laboratory and pharmacy, the criminal or criminals made their way into RF&G Insurance Agency.
So we got the call and we came over. The back door was already open, but the police were here. So we couldn't really come in yet, and we didn't know what had happened until we got the go-ahead. And we came into the office. We noticed that the office was ransacked. While we were waiting, we noticed the other offices next to us were also burglarized. They entered through the back. In all the offices, they got into through the back. And for us, well, we don't, thank God, we didn't have anything much of value here, but they did take some items, a headphone, they took a speaker for the computer, they took some coins that we normally hold in office. And that wasn't a lot, maybe like about 150. We don't normally hold cash here, but they took that along with some clothing items that we had, which were new clothing items that we were holding in office that were just purchased for a baby boy. And then we later found out today, actually, when we came in, that the computers were disconnected. So we feel like they didn't have the time to take the computers, but we're grateful that, well, in the process, nobody was here, nobody was hurt, but it does feel like they take away a little bit of your peace of mind.
Authorities have gathered information from within the area and believe that they know who the thieves might be. The investigation continues. A traffic accident on Sunday here in Orange Walk landed 1 man at the hospital and a member of the Belize Police Department on the hot seat. The incident played out on the San Felipe Road at around 5 p.m. When police arrived at the scene, about a quarter mile to the entrance of San Lazaro Village, 20-year-old Jerry Gerson Cordova, Belizean laborer of San Lazaro Village, had already been transported to the hospital for treatment. Left behind was his motorcycle with extensive damages. Investigations have revealed that Cordova was traveling heading to San Lazaro village on his motorcycle, and upon reaching close to the village, a white pickup truck driven at the time by 42-year-old Artemio Ical, police officer of August Pine Ridge, collided into the rear of his cycle. At this time, PC Ical is on interdiction.
He was detained from his home in San Lazaro village. A few minutes after doing so, the investigators also found out that he ran a checkpoint that was set up by transport officers prior to knocking one Jerson Cordova off a motorbike while trying to escape, while escaping from the traffic checkpoint. Police then went to his home where they detained him. They took the vehicle that he was using into the station to be processed, of course. And as it is, he will be arraigned this morning in Orange Walk Magistrate Court. But I know that the letter for his interdiction is being processed as we speak.
We understand PC Cal refused to provide a urine sample and is expected to be charged for that also. Cordova remains in a stable condition at the hospital. Coming up next, the farmers from the north learn how to increase soursop production. Stay tuned.
What is Amnesty 2022? An opportunity for undocumented immigrants living in Belize. Belize wants to help you to live freely and continue contributing to those communities you and your family now call home by offering a pathway to permanent residency. Why should you apply? In doing so, you remove barriers and reduce the difficulties faced living as an undocumented immigrant. Applying is easy. Go online to www.immigration.gov.bz for more information. Find out if you qualify, how to apply, what documents you need, and how to book your appointment. Be prepared. The registration period will be from the 2nd of August to the 30th of November 2022. Belize Amnesty 2022. Let's continue to build Belize together.
LG dual inverter compressor cools air faster by operating at speeds as high as 120 Hz with more stability compared to conventional models. It also saves up to 70% more energy by operating at speeds as low as 10 Hz with more stability. It reduces torque vibration down to 40% for quiet outdoor unit operation. Stable operation with low vibrations also results in increased durability.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
Hi, welcome to De La Fuentes Pharmacy, 16 Main Street.
De La Fuentes Pharmacy is a family-owned pharmacy. We offer a friendly and dedicated staff that will motivate and educate you on healthy lifestyle choices. With over 50 years of experience, you can rest assured that you are in good hands.
We believe in going above and beyond for our customers. providing several services that cater to your family's needs.
When it comes to health and wellness, we believe in quality over quantity.
Some of the services we offer are free blood pressure checks, glucose testing, weight management, one-on-one patient counseling, home deliveries, and much more.
Here at De La Fuentes Pharmacy, we offer fast and efficient practices with friendly patient care.
At De La Fuentes Pharmacy, 16 Main Street, diligence, efficiency, and kindness are the cornerstones of our practice.
Visit us today and experience pharmacare like no other.
A traffic accident between miles 46 and 47 of the Philip Golson Highway this afternoon left several persons shaken. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured. The incident occurred between a Dodge Ram pickup truck which was towing a yellow school bus and a Freightliner tandem truck. When police arrived on the scene, they saw the white pickup truck on the right side of the highway when traveling from Belize towards Orange Walk, and hooked on its left side was the bus, which rested on its right side. At about 25 feet on the left side of the highway, police observed the Freightliner truck with its right front wheel partially off the highway, facing a southward direction. Official police reports indicate that around 2:45 p.m., 27-year-old Crooked Tree resident Lennox Wade was driving the Dodge Ram towing the yellow bus, which suddenly began swerving from side to side. This caused Wade to lose control of the pickup truck and collide into the Freightliner, being driven at the time by 69-year-old Pedro Balbuena, a resident of Chula Vista, Corozal. Police are investigating the incident. The government of Belize has promised to undertake a major role in transforming the agriculture sector so that the industry can become an exemplary in the region. In keeping with that goal, the Food and Agriculture Organization financed a one-day training for 50 soursop farmers from Corozal and Orange Walk. Elmer Cornejo has the following story.
A combination of farmers from Corozal and Arinjawak were delighted to be part of a cohort of 50 that would learn how to get the best out of their soursop farms, as the fruit has become one of the products on high demand in Belize and the world. The group spent the first hours of the morning at the Yolk Creek Agriculture Station for the theoretical part of the training, and thereafter convened at the Manolo Hernandez farm in Chenpine Ridge for the practical part of the session. Dr. Abel Reboques, who has a master's and a doctoral degree in agronomy, was brought in from Brazil as the consultant to carry out the training, while the national coordinator for non-traditional fruit trees in the Ministry of Agriculture, Fulton Barry Palacio, spearheaded the project.
We are having a training in soursop to train farmers, to capacitate them to be able to better produce soursop. Through the FAO project, FAO means Food and Agriculture Organization, we have brought in Dr. Abel Reboques, who is a world-renowned expert in soursop, to teach our farmers. So we are going from district to district, teaching soursop farmers all the new techniques and all the knowledge that he has brought with him for us to develop the industry more. As I have said in previous interviews, the Ministry of Agriculture has prioritized specific fruit trees such as soursop, coconut, pineapples, dragon fruit, and passion fruit. Those are our priority crops. And today we are focusing on soursop so that the support that farmers require is there. So I am happy that Dr. Abel Reboques has taken time out to share his knowledge, and the feedback that we have gotten from all the participants has been extremely positive. So we're happy for that. He has mentioned that one of our biggest constraints is that of the absence of hand pollination, pruning, and pest and disease control. So I'm certain that after this, when farmers go and practice on their own farm, they will see tremendous improvement in their operations.
The idea of the ministry is for farmers such as David Tillett to be able to triple, if not quadruple, on their production of soursop.
There are many things that I didn't know. For example, pruning, when you need to prune, and why it is important to prune. It is important to prune, for instance, because you want to get bigger and better fruits and lots more flowers on the tree. Another thing I'm learning here is about pollination. When do we need to pollinate? Because when we don't pollinate, we have deformed fruits. That's one thing that the doctor is explaining. And that's very interesting for me. I didn't know. He says that whenever we don't pollinate the flowers, you can get about 30 to 40 flowers. When you don't pollinate, then you don't get many fruits. And when you pollinate, you get about 100 or more fruits, even 200. People from Brazil, he's explaining, there are people that can produce in 1 year more than 200 soursops in one tree. And when you don't pollinate, he was explaining that if you have 100 flowers, most likely you will end up having only 4 or 5, even maybe 3 or 2 soursop. So it is important, he explaining, that we know how to pollinate and to pollinate our flowers so that we get the most of it. Something that I was asking a lot of questions to the doctor was about fertilizer. When to fertilize and how to fertilize, and why it, he was explaining something very important, that nitrogen is very, very bad for the plant because it causes disease. Sometimes it induces to anthracnosis, which affects the fruit, affects the flowers, and even sometimes the leaves. So he was explaining that we need to reduce the amount of nitrogen. And it's better to use something that is like 0020 20 or 001010. That's the number of the fertilizers in the bag.
The Ministry of Agriculture plans to create more of these training sessions to vitalize the agriculture industry in Belize. Elmer Cornejo, Ctv3 News.
The ministry is also engaged in other non-traditional fruit trees training sessions for farmers across the country. La Fiesta del Pueblo returned to San Jose Nuevo Palmar Orange Walk on Sunday, after a 2-year break caused by the COVID-19 pandemic that shook the entire world. Our news team was there, and here is that report with all the highlights.
La Fiesta del Pueblo was founded in 2001 in an effort to promote the Yucatec culture of northern Belize. On Sunday, after a 2-year hiatus due to COVID-19, organizers managed to bring the fiesta back to its feet, at the same time creating an economic reaction for San Jose Nuevo Palmar.
Why is it that we're here today celebrating a special day for the Maya culture in Palmar?
Well, first of all, we're celebrating the 86th anniversary of the founding of San Jose Palmar, and that is the reason we're celebrating, one. And secondly, because we are showcasing our Yucatec heritage. That's the second reason why we're celebrating today. We have representation of the South, the Quechua and Mopan Maya, and the Garifuna, who are with us today. And we all sit on the Belize National Indigenous Council, which is a national platform where indigenous communities are represented and they raise their concerns and issues with the government. So they're here today, and this is the first time that we're having them here with us. But it's a celebration for the entire indigenous community of Belize. We make up a lot of the population, a substantial part of the population, and our contribution to nation building is a lot. So it is one day to be proud of being indigenous people of Belize.
I also want to know a little bit more about how the activities planned out for today look like.
Well, we have a day filled with performances on the stage, like you are witnessing right now. We have dances, we will have live music. We're gonna have we have our group, a group from the west doing the western aspect of the Yucatec culture, and we also have friends from the north. I mean, from Mexico. El Ballet Folclórico de Quintana Roo and from Bacalar, who are participating with us today here.
San Jose Palmar is the last Yucatec community standing in the Yalbak area. Without a doubt, it encompasses a vast history, inerasable moments that make a Maya mestizo proud of their roots.
I belong to the Maya Night Dance Company. I am the dance group leader of the Maya Night Dance Company. Our company comprises of about 5 group members and upcoming young members that are going to be incorporated in our dance group very soon. But today we came to give a variety of dance performances. In particular, I performed a dance presentation called La Bandeja, and that is a cultural dance incorporating dancing with it's called a bandeja with 4 bottles balancing the 4 bottles on my head. It comes from a tale. My grandmother always tells us that tale, and it came from that tale that her grandparents passed on to her, and she has incorporated and passed it on to us. And the tale is about. It's like a fiesta del pueblo, like a day like today, when they're dancing and everything. And now this couple, and this guy invites this young lady to perform, and she dances with him. But then she says that she doesn't want to dance with him anymore because he's intoxicated. So the guy says, to prove to you that I'm not intoxicated, I'm going to dance with the bottle on my head on this box, on this wooden box. And that is where that dance traditionally came about. It was only 1 bottle, but then we decided to up the ante and take it to another level. And now I dance it with 4 bottles on the head.
Forming part of the Yucatec culture is its cuisine, and Sunday they wear different plates to savor.
Pues ahorita se está vendiendo todo, casi ya vendimos todo. Aquí en nuestro estado, como usted puede ver, nosotros estamos haciendo para la iglesia, porque queremos pintarnos y renovar nuestra iglesia, que está aquí en la misma plaza de Máximo Pérez. Entonces, aquí, si usted se da cuenta, aquí combinamos nuestra cultura maya y de nuestra hermana, que se acaba de elegir la presidenta de la comitiva de la iglesia. Ella viene originalmente del Salvador y ellos hacen pupusas. Entonces, ella se combinó con nosotros y nuestra cultura, y ella está haciendo pupusas también para vendernos, que se le ofrece al pueblo latino. Y estamos dando, como les dije, la costilla asado con frijol colado, chile frito, chile tomate. Hicimos el relleno negro con el recado que se prepara en casa, escabeche, y todo de gallina local, escabeche. Hicimos las horchatas en casa, que se muele el arroz con canela y con cacahuate. Hay uno que es con cacahuate, que tradicionalmente se hace, no se bebía refresco antes, eso es lo que se tomaba. Vendo el recado. El proceso es arduo porque se tiene que quemar bastante tortillas y con las especias. No podemos decir todo, ¿verdad? Porque hay un secretito de familia. Ajá, y se seca, se muele con todo, right, allá en la casa para que quede así negrito y espesito.
Music was also one of the major highlights of this year's event. In keeping up with tradition, the Grupo Folclórico de Quintana Roo, Mexico, was invited to perform.
Agradecemos mucho la invitación, primeramente a los organizadores de este evento. Con muchísimo gusto vamos a presentar un repertorio que tiene que ver con los bailes costumbristas del estado de Quintana Roo. Esta música y esta mezcla de la jarana peninsular mexicana con los ritmos afrocaribeños hicieron un bagaje cultural y musical que es del estado de Quintana Roo. Vamos a bailar los bailes costumbristas de Quintana Roo, el pasacay, el calabaceado, los chicleros, el zambay macho. Y posteriormente vamos a hacer un repertorio que tiene que ver con la cultura afrodescendiente, que es del estado de Guerrero, los sones de artesa de la costa del estado de Guerrero en el país de México. El ballet folclórico tiene entre sus objetivos primordiales la difusión y la promoción del patrimonio dancístico del estado de Quintana Roo y de México. Y ahí es un espacio también para que los jóvenes, los niños, jóvenes, adolescentes, adultos asistan a esos espacios culturales donde se da la enseñanza de la danza tradicional. Entonces es muy importante que esta labor de que los jóvenes se vayan integrando a esas actividades artísticas y culturales para ir haciendo toda una formación integral académica y cultural, ¿no? Que los jóvenes vayan utilizando, ocupando estos espacios para el beneficio de la propia sociedad.
The Northern Maya Association of Belize, in collaboration with the Palmar Culture Group, with sponsorship from the Ministry of Human Development, Families and Indigenous Peoples Affairs, and the Ministry of Education and Culture, coordinated the event. Elmer Cornejo, Ctv3 News.
The plan is to make next year's fiesta bigger and better. The Supplies Control Unit SCU in the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise has informed the general public that effective Wednesday, new fixed control prices will be introduced for the sale of liquefied petroleum gas LPG. The new prices per 100-pound cylinder are $136 in the municipalities and $139 in rural areas, a decrease of $3 per pound from the previous price, or 20 cents per gallon. This change now reflects the sale by wholesale volume and retail sale by volume in both urban and rural areas. The price decrease is resulting primarily from a decrease in the acquisition price of butane. The general public is reminded that the prices established for imported LPG are based on the mixtures of 7230 propane butane, only as per the requirement of the Belize National Standard Specification for Liquefied Petroleum Gas LPG 2012. Today, the Department of Transport and the Belize Forest Department informed that trucks and trailers carrying logs and lumber will now need to obtain a heavy load permit. The department said that the measure is being taken to improve road safety as it pertains to the movement of logs and commercial lumber. All persons in possession of a logging license or permit from the Belize Forest Department will be required to obtain a heavy load permit, as required by the Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Regulations from the Department of Transport effective October 15, 2022, a joint statement said. Logging licenses and permit holders must also abide by the requirements as outlined in the Forest Act. In addition, the Department of Transport and the Belize Forest Department said that they will ensure that all trucks and trailers undergo a rigorous inspection to meet the safety standards mandated by the Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Regulations prior to the issuance of the heavy load permit. Examples of the minimum requirements will include, but are not limited to, the following: yellow warning lights placed on the roof of the motor vehicle, red warning flags and other caution signs, reflective tape, and red reflectors on the motor vehicle and trailer. Minimum of 3 chains not less than ½ inch in thickness, and wielded, manufactured, and secure metal columns on trailers. Both departments will also be conducting national enforcement operations to ensure compliance with the new requirements for the transportation of logs and commercial lumber. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Wednesday, October 12th, here on Ctv3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at Ctv3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.